Hi, I am Pedro Cesar Marin. I am a Spanish teacher or tutor, depending on what you are looking for. I mean, teacher when you're looking for deep grammar, and you can consider me your friend or tutor when you're looking to increase your knowledge of vocabulary and natural use of the language. Bienvenido a mi canal, te invito a que te suscribas, por favor, y que me sigas where you're going to receive more and more videos where I'm going to teach you or help you understand how we use and some of the more natural phrases of Spanish. Of course, the way we speak it in Latin America, not in the United States because there are some small differences. The Spanish spoken in the United States is usually more literally translated from English, opposite to el español que hablamos aquí en Sudamérica, Centro y Suramérica, desde México, perdón, desde México, nuestros hermanos mexicanos. Muy bien, el día de hoy voy a compartir con ustedes uno de los temas más complicados quizás para algunos de los estudiantes. This is supposed to be one of the most complicated or headaches subjects when you're learning Spanish. The use of subjunctive. Subjunctive mood is used to express emotion, something that is not supposed to be real, but in some cases might be. And this is where it comes a complicated thing about subjunctive. It's surrounded by a mist of special cases. Está rodeado por una niebla de excepciones. Pero de todas maneras, there is always a natural use the way we learn our native language through repetition and just understanding what it means in your language, in this case, English. El subjuntivo en español. Subjunctive mood is one of the most important verbal modes in Spanish. It is used to express a wide range of meanings. Duda, falta de certeza, deseo, desire, posibilidad, condición, emociones, and so many more. Present subjunctive always reminds me of the use of can in English, not because of the meaning, but just because you can use can to express future or present. And usually the only thing that you're going to change is the time expression, like I can help you tomorrow. I can help you right now. Esto me recuerda un poco. Present subjunctive can express ideas in the present and also in the future, just the same conjugation. So it's a variation that we do to the conjugation of the verb. And this conjugation alone expresses the idea of doubt, uncertainty, and so many more. And usually also emotions. Espero que vengas a la fiesta. Que vengas. That's subjunctive. Vienes is the regular conjugation. Vengas is present subjunctive because it is connecting to the future and also is connecting in an emotional way. Espero que vengas, future, a la fiesta. Es importante que estudies para el examen. Es importante que estudies para el examen. It's important que. Es importante que. Is necessary. Es necesario que. These type of phrases, they always trigger subjunctive. Estudies instead of estudias. Estudias is a fact. Estudias is uncertain. It's in the future, and actually now it may feel the gap of an advice we are trying to give here. Te sugiero que vayas al médico. Te sugiero que. Another triggering for subjunctive. Vayas. That's a conjugation, present subjunctive conjugation for the verb ir, to go. Te sugiero que vayas al médico. I'm suggesting you, advise you to go to the doctor. So you might have the question in your brain, why you guys are using a different, it's not enough with the other words? Well, no, because with the other words, it's going to happen an accident between my desire and the truth. We know that our desires are not real. You know what I'm talking about. I might desire right now to be eating a pizza, but that's not happening. So that's the difference between a desire and the truth. The truth, I'm just talking to you guys, which I'm happy to do. But my desire maybe is to be talking, but also with a chocolate on my side, or maybe with a beach on my background. But that's not happening. And that's exactly where subjunctive comes to show, okay, enters into the scene to make a stronger connection between that desire of mine, that opinion of mine, that emotion of mine, and the reality and what is real. So, te sugiero que vas al médico. Vas is the truth. So, I'm suggesting you that you actually are going to the doctor. That's the way we see it in Spanish if we use the conjugation vas, indicativo. That's why it doesn't make sense. I'm suggesting you that actually you go. It's like actually you went. I know it's future, but how can you consider a future action done if it hasn't happened? And the truth is, only that word, only that conjugation, give us the information, give us all that information, all that information. Now let's go to imperfecto de subjuntivo. Ojalá hubieras venido a la fiesta. Hubieras is the new conjugation. Ojalá, expressing desire. Ojalá que, ojalá, same thing. Ojalá hubieras venido a la fiesta. I'm expressing the emotion that I really miss you at the party. Era importante que estudiaras. Era past, importante. You remember the other one, es importante, es necesario? Well, now we have it in the past. And of course, it's going to trigger the change of tense on the secondary verb. In this case, estudiar. Es importante que estudies. Present subjunctive. But now we are in the imperfect. It's a type of past. Era, it was important for you to study. Era importante que estudiaras in the past. Te sugería, I suggested you, te sugería que fueras al médico. I was suggesting you to go to the doctor. You see, you have in English, I was suggesting you. And that I was suggesting you is giving you a connection between the moment when you're saying that or when that was said and the moment when it's expected to happen, meaning that it's pointing to the future. Te sugería que fueras al médico. You see, so the moment when you're saying the phrase, the second action hasn't happened. In Spanish, this makes perfect sense. And my recommendation is not trying to make the whole understanding in English or the whole connection to English, because it's impossible. You don't have it in English. You don't have a perfect translation of subjunctive in English. You just have the idea. So try to connect the conjugation with the idea. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, but it is to say it. Sorry. But you can do it through practice. Through practice. Perfecto de subjuntivo. This tense is literally the translation for the present perfect. I have studied Spanish. Yo he estudiado español. But now, in a not completed idea, or maybe showing my emotions. Espero que. Espero que always triggers the use of subjunctive. So it's a nice phrase to start practicing the use of subjunctive for you. Just keep the idea. Every time that you want to say something that is expressing, I hope that, I hope that something happened, you can start memorizing a few verbs, just 5 verbs, espero que, and just throw them, at least for yourself. Espero que hayas aprendido. Oh, we have 2 verbs in here. Remember, this video is not deep grammar video. It's trying just to make a connection between your language and our language so you can start using it in a natural way, just as a kid would do it, sorry. Espero que hayas aprendido. So I hope you have learned. I hope you have learned. Usually with the use of this mood, this tense of the mood, subjunctive mood, we know that an action is started happening, but we don't know how it ended. We know that an action started, but we don't know usually how it ended. And we use this tense referring to that doubt, uncertainty. Espero que hayas aprendido algo nuevo. I hope you have learned something new. So I know you were trying to learn something. So I hope you ended up learning. Sorry, my allergies is something that I have to work with. It's like my gray hair. I'm trying not to annoy anybody, but it's a part of myself. Es importante, is important for you. Es importante que hayas estudiado para el examen. I know that you had to study. I don't know if you did it. It's important that you have studied for the test. Te sugiero que hayas ido al médico, perdón. You know that the present perfect connects the past and the present. So usually it's very common in English and Spanish to have a mix of tenses with it, between past and present. Te sugiero que, present tense, hayas ido al médico. I cannot suggest it in the past because hayas ido. As I told you, I know that you were supposed to, but I don't know how the situation ended. And the last of the 4 moods, the last tense, pluperfect. That's a big name just to, scare you. Also in Spanish. As a joke, I tend to tell my students that when I ask some of my friends, hey, you know what pluperfect is? And they ask me, is it a drink? Is it a new drink? So we don't really know, as in many languages this happens, we don't really know deep grammar or the names of grammar, and that's not important. That's not an obstacle to be able to speak. Same thing with subjunctive. You don't need to understand the whole thing to be able to use it correctly. You only need to make the connection between the conjugation and the idea, how it is used. So what you want to express will flow naturally. Pluperfect. We express a past of a past situation, something that happens before a past situation. I wish you had come before. Ojalá hubieras venido antes. You see, antes is the past where we had another action before. I wish you had come before dinner. Dinner already happened, and I wish you had come before dinner. So it's an action that happened before a past event. Era importante que hubieras estudiado antes del examen. It was important you had studied before the test. Before the test is the past event. It was important for you to had studied before it. I suggested you had gone to the doctor before. I did it. Te lo dije. Te lo dije. I told you. Something that some people love to say in Spanish when we make mistakes. Well, these are some examples of natural phrases that we usually use every day of our lives with subjunctive mood. My recommendation is, as I told you before, to choose a couple of triggering phrases such as no creo que or espero que. Choose 5 verbs that you like, memorize the conjugations, start with present subjunctive, then add the other, the imperfect. And the more you're learning, the more you're adding more and more verbs. And of course, keep practicing. The more you practice, the more you're going to be able to use it. I hope really this video had like you had liked this video. Sorry, I was speaking Spanglish. Les estaba hablando Spanglish, which is a mixture of both languages and the grammar of the two of them. Well, see you in my next video where I'm trying to help you more and more with your journey of learning Spanish. And remember, it's not only a language you're learning, you're opening the windows to new cultures. Hasta luego. A few minutes before the video stops.